Hello everyone. This week we're looking at welcoming communities as part of our course in healthy rural and small town communities, and of course we've come to appreciate that immigration is really important for many rural communities, and I have the pleasure of having with me two current students in the School of Environmental Design and Rural Development. Rana Telfah is working on her PhD, and Sharon Wan is working on her Master's in Rural Planning and Development. We're pleased to have them both with us. I've asked them both to join us because you've both been through a process of moving to this country and have no doubt had different experiences and have different perspectives, and in fact your research, Rana, is focused on immigration and how that connects into rural communities as well. So first let me ask you, what does a welcoming community mean to you?
Shall I start?
Please.
So, based on my experience, I came to Cladwell 5 years ago. So I think that when a welcoming community is a community that permits me to sustain my culture, embrace the Canadian way of life, and become part of this community. Yes. So I think that when the community is open and give the immigrants or the newcomers their needs and interacts with them, it will lead to a learning process. So the immigrants will learn and adapt to the culture or the way of living here, and the community will learn from newcomers also. So it's a learning process which leads to their integration and facilitate their integration.
I'm really interested in the comment you made on maintaining your own culture, which I think is really important.
Yeah, I'm reflecting now after 5 years of living here in Guelph. So I think my culture, my identity is very important. So we can't change everything. We will adapt, integrate, but also we want to embrace the way of life here. It's very nice combination to have both of them together. So it makes us unique. Maybe we will need, and we can use our skills better in this community.
Thank you.
Yes.
And Sharon, what does it mean for you?
Yeah, I definitely agree with Rana because I used to live in England for about 10 years before I came to Canada, and I feel like if I have to compare, I think that I feel much more welcome here because I have this space to maintain my own culture, and I also have this room to explore other cultures. Then we can link them together. And another two aspects of being welcoming, be welcome comes to my mind is be able to access to information and also be able to get around. That's from a very practical perspective. I think that it's extremely important at the beginning stage of your life experience when you arrive here.
I also believe that the neighborhood where we live is very important. This is our starting point. When we have a neighborhood that accepts us, receives us, and we will be a part of this neighborhood, we'll go further to higher organization. You know, we will feel sense of belonging to our place where we live. We will feel better or more encouraged to do more for this community.
And for both of you, what have been your experiences in terms of moving to a community? Has it felt welcoming? What's worked? What hasn't worked for you? Maybe Sharon, you'd like to start with that question.
I remember, if I recall my experience here, I feel the community center is a very important first step platform for me to know who's going on there, like who's welcoming me and what information is provided and what program I can take part in and also what resources is provided to me. And I have to say my neighborhood did a really good job. When I first arrived here, I arrived in Toronto. I think most of the immigrants follow this trajectory as me too, because I just find it's easier to get more service and facilities. And indeed, when I went to the community center, I find there's a lot of immigrant-focused programs about language, about the job hunting, and also about babysitting. And I find that's make me feel very welcome and like, wow, I feel like there's someone actually doing things for me.
Were these services provided by the municipality or provided by volunteers that were there?
They are both. I went to the one provided by York Region Municipality, and I also participated into a community-based organization. So they are both providing services like this. I find them both very useful.
Very cool. And Rana, your experience?
Yeah, that's nice because what you mentioned, some of what you mentioned, it's part of my challenges here, living in a small community. Yeah, I face challenges in the housing. So we had some issues with neighbors that are not accepting or not willing to accept people from different cultures. This is one of the issues. And the other issue, the childcare services. it's an issue here, not like in big cities. So I had to stay with my son. I couldn't go or look for work or go a training program because I couldn't find any affordable childcare services.
And there you're contrasting what Sharon experienced in Toronto versus what you experienced in Guelph.
This is exciting to know that what Toronto is offering, not like here in Guelph. So more work, I think, should be done for small communities.
So it's interesting because Guelph is of course much smaller than Toronto, but it's much larger than much of what rural Ontario has to offer.
Yeah, so at the beginning I felt some loneliness. I was lonely. I couldn't do anything. Just stayed at home with my son, thinking how can I go outside and do something. Yes.
So were there, reflecting back on, were there things that worked well from the community in terms of making you feel welcome, or was it?
Let me say about the settlement services also. We were they were just providing information, not more than information. So I tried with the English school. So I had to wait my turn so as I can have a spot for my son in the daycare. It's not easy to go to a learning school or the English school. You have to wait for your turn. This was a challenge. And also looking for work, I couldn't find a decent employment opportunity that fits my qualifications. Even the help or the services that could help us was not that enough.
Well, thank you for both those comments. Maybe the final question is connected to, of course, the course is focused on healthy rural and small town communities, and it's easy to look at things like the built environment, how walkable a community is, whether there's active transportation options and so on. And we look at this topic of immigration and welcoming communities. How do you see that fitting into healthy rural and small town communities?
Okay, I definitely think it's highly relevant to immigrants because although I live in Great Toronto area, I live in Richmond Hill, you would think it's highly urbanized. But for immigrants, a lot of newcomers and a lot of old people who doesn't have a car, it's actually like living in a rural area or small town area. Because think about it, like if you don't have a car, your walking distance, daily range, 5 kilometers top, and where can you go? And take my neighborhood as example. It's very urbanized, I have to say, but within the 5 kilometers, we don't have a lot of destinations. Yes, there are supermarkets. Yes, there is a clinic. But from a healthy perspective, like people want to have some places to go to have fun and have places to meet people and enjoy and have communications. We don't have many destinations like this. And also, immigrants has a lot of invisible barriers. For example, my mom, she's from China, and when she visit here, and because her living experiences in China involve a lot of walking. It's not for recreation. It's not fancy exercise with helmet and all these gears. No, she just cycle and walk to get shop or go pick up the kids. But when she really have this bike and really start to bike, and she came back in 5 minutes, she says she's too scared because she doesn't know which lane to take. And when she see the lane share the lane with the car, she feel very nervous. So they don't know this walking or cycling culture here very much. And again, language is a problem. They don't know where they can go to meet people, so they feel very insecure at some time. So I think if you look at this perspective, there are millions of immigrants actually living in very isolated areas, somehow very similar to rural area or small town area, I think.
Thank you for that. Rana?
Yeah, I think the presence of immigrants or newcomers to small communities and retaining them is very good or advantageous to small communities because they have a lot. They want to give more to this community, but they need the chance and they need the opportunity and the others to be open to them. So, for example, the English is a barrier, the English language, especially the conversational one, at the beginning is very hard. So we need to practice more, we need to speak more to Canadians and learn more about the culture. And then the settlement services should be more specific to women and youth. Look at different categories of immigrants and refugees also. Not only, it's only designed for newcomers. which kind of newcomers we don't know. It doesn't fit for all of us. Yes.
Well, I'd like to thank you both for your comments. I think as we look at healthy rural and small town communities, this simply reiterates how important it is to be thinking about, is your community welcoming? How does it attract and retain people that might be moving there as newcomers to your community? Because there's many benefits for rural communities, and I think if we think about the notion of a community thriving, it's about attracting people who are committed to staying there, and that the community in turn makes those people feel welcome. So again, thank you to Rana, who's a PhD student here at the University of Guelph, and Sharon, who is a master's student in rural planning and development at the University of Guelph as well. And thank you for listening.